Welcome to the Daily Odd News. I'm your host, Cameron Dole, and today is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025, and we've got a lineup of stories that are out of this world, literally. From the bizarre to the downright absurd, we're diving into the strange and fascinating, and here's a sneak peek of what's in store. The latest obsession, Squid Game. What's behind its enduring popularity? The king of rock and roll is back in the news. Find out why Elvis is still making headlines. Are you planning on doing some stargazing this month? Well, we've got the scoop on which planets you can spot in the night sky. And also, in a bizarre move, hot dogs are banned in North Korea. But why? Well, of course, your favorite segment, Stupid Criminal Files, and you won't believe the ridiculous crimes that made the list today. So buckle up, it's gonna be a wild ride, and let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to dive into the delightful world of Squid Game first, where the only thing more abundant than bloodshed is the existential dread. I mean, who needs a lighthearted feel-good show when you can watch a bunch of people being forced to play children's games to the death, right? It's like the ultimate stress reliever, except instead of relaxing, you'll be on the edge of your seat wondering who's going to be the next to get their face blown off by a giant robotic doll. The best part is the show's creator was inspired by real-life events like the 2009 Ssangyong motor strikes in South Korea, where over 2,600 employees were laid off, and the former staff members occupied the plant, demanding job security and better working conditions. Because, nothing says inspiration like a bunch of people fighting for their rights and being tear-gassed by riot police. It's like the ultimate form of method acting, except instead of acting, people are actually dying. And if that's not enough, Dong Hyuk also drew inspiration from his own financial struggles, as well as Japanese comics like Battle Royale and Liar Game. Because when you're struggling to make ends meet, the best thing to do is create a TV show about people being forced to fight to the death in a twisted game. I mean, who needs a stable income when you can have a show that's all about the thrill of possibly being killed by a giant robotic doll? It's like the ultimate form of Schadenfreude, except instead of laughing at others' misfortunes, you're laughing at the absurdity of it all. But wait, it gets even better. Some people on TikTok are speculating that the show was actually inspired by a concentration camp in Busan, South Korea, known as Brothers' Home, where thousands of people, including children, were detained and subjected to forced labor, physical abuse, and human rights abuses. Because, nothing says inspiration like a place where people were tortured, raped, and killed. I mean, who needs a beach vacation when you can visit a concentration camp and get some ideas for your next TV show? It's like the ultimate form of dark tourism, except instead of visiting a haunted house, you're visiting a real-life hellhole. The best part is Dong Hyuk has never actually cited the camp as a source of inspiration for the show. So either he's just really good at denying things, or he's just really bad at doing his research. Either way, it's pretty clear that Squid Game is a show that's all about pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable and exploring the darker side of human nature. Because what's more entertaining than watching people suffer and die in a twisted game? It's like the ultimate form of catharsis, except instead of purging your emotions, you're purging your soul. So there you have it. Squid Game, the show that's all about entertainment, social commentary, and allegory, with a side of real-life human rights abuses in concentration camps. Because, what's more entertaining than that? It's like the ultimate form of gallows humor, except instead of laughing at the absurdity of death, you're laughing at the absurdity of it all. Well, the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, the man who brought us iconic hits like Hound Dog and Jailhouse Rock, but also life of excess and self-destruction that ultimately led to his untimely death. Because what's more rock and roll than dying on the toilet surrounded by the remnants of last night's pizza and a sea of prescription pill bottles? I mean, seriously, Elvis's death on August 16, 1977 was a shock to the world. But let's be real, it was also kind of inevitable. The guy was a ticking time bomb of bad habits and poor life choices just waiting to go off. And when he finally did, it was like the universe was just like, you know what, Elvis? You've been playing with fire too long. It's time to get burned. Well, then, of course, there's the autopsy report. Ah, the autopsy report. Sealed for 50 years because, the Presley family wanted to keep the details of his death private. But let's be real, that's just like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It's not going to stop the bleeding, and it's not going to stop the speculation and conspiracy theories. I mean, what's more intriguing than a mysterious death? It's like the ultimate rock and roll mystery, and we're all just dying to know the details. So, what do the experts think happened? Well, according to Dan Warlick, the chief investigator for the Tennessee Office of the State Chief Medical Examiner, Elvis died while straining on the toilet. Yeah, you heard that right. The king of rock and roll, brought down by a bad case of constipation. It's like the ultimate rock and roll tragedy. I mean, who needs a dramatic, fiery death when you can just die on the toilet, surrounded by the stench of your own feces? But of course, not everyone agrees with the theory. Some people think it was a drug overdose, while others think it was just a heart attack. And let's be real, we're never really going to know for sure until the autopsy report is unsealed in 2027. But honestly, who cares? The guy's been dead for over 40 years. What's the difference now? It's not like it's going to change the fact that he's still dead and we're all still stuck with the mediocre music of his later years. And on a lighter note, can you imagine the headline if Elvis had died from constipation? The king dies on the throne. A royal pain in the butt. I mean, it's just too perfect. It's like the universe was just waiting for the perfect moment to take him down, and it chose the most humiliating way possible. But at least it went out with a bang of flatulence. But in all seriousness, Elvis's death is just a reminder that no matter how famous or iconic you are, you're still human. You can still fall victim to the same flaws and weaknesses as the rest of us. And let's be real. If you're going to die, you might as well die doing something embarrassing, like straining on the toilet. At least that way, you'll be remembered for something other than just your music. So there you have it. The mysterious death of Elvis. A cautionary tale of the dangers of excess and the importance of taking care of yourself. Or, just a really interesting story to speculate about. Either way, it's a reminder that no matter how hard you try, you can't escape the inevitable. And sometimes that inevitable is just a big, stinky pile of crap. Joy. Because what's more exciting than freezing your butt off in the middle of January, gazing up at the night sky and contemplating the meaninglessness of existence? I mean, who needs human connection or a social life when you can have planetary alignment? Am I right? Well, seriously, folks, if you're a fan of astronomy or just a fan of feeling small and insignificant in the grand scheme of things, then January 2025 is the month for you. The planets are aligning, and I'm not just talking about your average everyday alignment. I'm talking about a full-on 4-planet spectacle that's going to leave you questioning the very fabric of reality. The best part, you don't need any fancy equipment or technology to see it. Just grab a warm coat, head out to a rural area on a clear night, and gaze up at the sky in awe of the vast, uncaring universe. I mean, who needs a telescope when you can just use your naked eye to stare into the abyss? Now, I know what you're thinking. Cameron, which planets can we expect to see? Well, let me tell you. You're going to be able to spot Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars, all lined up like they're trying out for a celestial game of survival of the fittest. And if you're one of the lucky astronauts stuck on the International Space Station, you're even going to get to see Earth from a distance, which is just a reminder of how tiny and significant we all are. But sadly, Mercury is a no-show this month. It's like the party pooper of the planet world, hiding behind the sun and refusing to come out and play. Oh well, more for the rest of us, I suppose. I mean, who needs Mercury when you can just gaze up at the vast, empty void of space and contemplate the meaninglessness of existence? So again, the lineup: Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars, all visible to the naked eye from west to east. Venus and Jupiter will be the brightest, so they're easy to spot. Just look west after sunset, and Venus will be shining back at you like a big, bright diamond in the sky. Saturn's a bit trickier to find, but if you can spot Venus and the Moon, you can use them as a guide to find the ringed planet. Then there's Jupiter, the big guy of the planet world, and it's like the Shaquille O'Neal of planets. You can't miss it. Just look for the big, bright blob in the sky, and that's your boy Jupiter. Now, Mars is the red planet, and it's looking particularly fiery this month. It'll be at its brightest point on January 16th, so mark your calendars for that one. I mean, who needs human connection or a social life? Just gaze up at the sky and contemplate the vast, empty void of space. And if you're feeling fancy, you can even bust out the old telescope and spot Uranus and Neptune, the ice planets. They'll be hanging out between Saturn and Jupiter, just chilling and looking cool. I mean, who needs friends when you can gaze up, like I've said, contemplate the meaningless of existence? There you have it, January 2025, shaping up to be a great month for stargazing, and I hope you all get out there and enjoy the show. Don't forget, in February, Mercury will be back in the night sky, so you can catch up with that party pooper then. Happy stargazing, and I'll catch you all in the next video, or not, because let's be real, what's the point of all of this anyway? Next up, we talk about the joys of living in North Korea, where the only thing more plentiful than the propaganda is the paranoia. Kim Jong-un has decided to ban hot dogs because they're a threat to the regime's delicate ego. I mean, who needs freedom of food choice when you have a dictator telling you what to eat? It's not like the North Korean people are already struggling with food insecurity or anything. According to reports, serving sausages is now considered an act of treason because apparently sausages are a threat to the regime. And if you're caught cooking or selling hot dogs, you could be arrested and sentenced to hard labor in one of their infamous labor camps. Because that's exactly what you want to do with your time. Spend it in a labor camp for eating a hot dog. I hear the accommodations are lovely, complete with complimentary starvation and a sight of torture. Now, but hot dogs are not the only food that are on the chopping block. Kim has also banned budae jjigae, a South Korean American fusion dish that's basically a hot pot of deliciousness. And of course, steamed rice cakes are also off limits because they're just too popular in South Korea. It's like if South Korea likes it, North Korea must hate it. The reasoning behind these bans is that they're a threat to the country's socialist values, but let's be real, it's just another way for the government to control people's lives. I mean, who needs personal freedom when you can have a government-approved meal plan? And food isn't the only thing being cracked down on. Divorce is now considered an anti-socialist act, and if you want to get divorced, you need to get the government's approval first. Because, you know, the government knows what's best for you in your relationships. According to Radio Free Asia, women who get divorced are facing harsher sentences than men. Because, of course, women are always the ones who get the short end of the stick in North Korea. A divorced woman even claimed that she served 3 months of labor for her crime. I guess that's one way to get out of alimony payments. But hey, at least the North Korean people can take comfort in the fact that their government is looking out for them. I mean, who needs human rights when you have a dictator who cares about your dietary choices? It's not like they're, starving or anything. Oh, wait, they are. But hey, at least they won't have to worry about getting fat from eating too many hot dogs. Silver linings, right? In all seriousness, though, the situation in North Korea is no joke. The government's control over every aspect of people's lives is suffocating, and the human rights abuses are rampant. But hey, at least we can make fun of their ridiculous food bans, right? Well, next up, we talk about the wonders of self-driving cars. They're supposed to be the epitome of convenience and innovation, but for one poor sap in LA, his experience with a Waymo robotaxi was more like a scene from a bad sci-fi movie. Mike Johns, the founder of AI strategy company Digital Mind State, decided to use the service to get to the airport and fly back to Los Angeles. And by decided to use the service, I mean he willingly got into a car that would eventually drive him in circles for minutes, leaving him stranded and dizzy. Yeah, that's exactly what I want in a transportation experience. A healthy dose of vertigo and a side of existential dread. So Johns gets into the back of the car, buckles his seatbelt, and the Waymo begins driving. And by driving, I mean it starts going in circles, like literally circles. As in the car is driving in a circle, and Johns is stuck in the back, wondering if he's going to end up in some kind of bizarre, autonomous, vehicle-themed Groundhog Day. I mean, who needs to get to the airport on time when you can experience the thrill of being trapped in a never-ending loop of confusion and frustration? But wait, it does get better. Waymo's customer service, because they're clearly staffed by a team of highly trained, empathetic robots, told John to try and use his phone to fix the problem. Because that's exactly what you want to do when you're stuck in a car that's driving in circles. Try to troubleshoot the issue with your phone. Who needs human intervention when you've got a phone and can say a prayer? Well, after about 10 circles in a row, the vehicle finally stopped, and John's was left to ponder the safety of the autonomous vehicles and their customer service. And by ponder, I mean he's probably still trying to process the trauma of being trapped in a car that seemed to have a mind of its own. Now, Waymo, of course, has not responded to John's complaint, because why bother? I mean, it's not like they have a reputation to uphold or anything. They're just a bunch of robots after all. Robots that can drive cars in circles, but not necessarily respond to customer complaints. In conclusion, if you ever find yourself in a self-driving car that's going in circles, just remember, you're not alone. You're part of a special club of people who have experienced the joy of autonomous, vehicle-induced vertigo. And if you're lucky, you might even get to use your phone to try and fix the problem. Joy. Well, now it's time to delve into the best or worst stupid criminal files of the day. In the latest installment of Cops Gone Wild, a drunken police officer in Zambia decided to throw a New Year's party in the most epic way possible by freeing 13 suspects from custody. Because why not? It's not like they were actual criminals or anything. Detective Inspector Titus Fury, the life of the party, was arrested after releasing the suspects from the Leonard Chilo police station in Lusaka. And then he did what any self-respecting party animal would do. He ran away. I mean, who needs to face the music when you can just flee the scene and leave everyone else to deal with the mess? The 13 detainees, accused of crimes like assault, robbery, and burglary, are now on the run, and a manhunt has been launched to find them. But at least they got to experience the thrill of freedom, courtesy of Officer Fury's questionable judgment. It's like he was trying to create his own real-life episode of Prison Break, minus the clever planning and competent execution. The police spokesperson said that Fury, in his infinite wisdom, in a state of intoxication, forcibly seized cell keys from Constable Sarah Banda on New Year's Eve, then proceeded to unlock the cells and tell the suspects they were free to go. Because that's exactly what you want to do when you're drunk. Make life-changing decisions that affect the safety of an entire community. I mean, who needs sobriety when you're trying to make a difference, right? Former presidential spokesperson and lawyer Dixon Geary found the whole scenario comical, but also remembered a similar incident in 1997, where a high court judge ordered the release of 53 suspects, some of whom were deemed dangerous by the police. I guess you could say that Zambia has a bit of history of, shall we say, creative approaches to justice. But at least they're consistent, right? It's like they're trying to create their own brand of justice, Zambia style. Well, the rules are made up as they go along, and the only constant is chaos. So to all the cops out there, take note. If you're going to throw a party, make sure you're not also in charge of locking up the bad guys. And to the people of Zambia, don't worry. Your police force has got everything under control. Or not. Either way, it's guaranteed to be an interesting year. Well, next up, we can add another genius to the stupid criminal files. This Texas man was arrested after a traffic stop revealed the treasure trove of stupidity, including guns, drugs, and 3 pythons in the back seat. Because what's a road trip without a few slithery friends along for the ride, am I right? I mean, who needs a GPS when you've got a trio of ball pythons to navigate the highways? And don't even get me started on the whole snakes on a plane thing. This guy took it to a whole new level with snakes in a car. Just surprised he didn't have a "Don't Tread on Me" flag waving out the window. But seriously, what was this guy thinking? Hey, I've got a felony warrant out for my arrest, but I'll just throw some snakes in the back seat and the cops will never suspect a thing. Yeah, because nothing says innocent like a car full of reptiles and a loaded rifle. Let's not forget the drugs. Because what's a little gun running and snake smuggling without some illicit substances to round out the party? This guy was like a one-man circus of stupidity, and the cops were just lucky to have a front row seat. The best part is that the snakes were turned over to a family member at the scene. I'm guessing that's the same family member who's been enabling this guy's stupid behavior all along. Hey cousin, can you take care of my snakes while I'm in jail? Oh, can you also bail me out and help me come up with a decent alibi? Yeah, that's not a toxic family dynamic at all. In the end, this guy got arrested for unlawful carrying of a weapon and illegal narcotics. But let's be real, the real crime here is his utter lack of common sense. I mean, who tries to outrun the law with a car full of snakes? It's just a recipe for disaster or a really bad action movie. So to all you aspiring criminals out there, take note. If you're going to try to outrun the law, at least have the decency to leave the snakes at home. And if you're going to carry a loaded rifle, make sure you're not also carrying a bunch of illicit substances and reptiles. Just saying. Next up, we've got a real showstopper for you. Meet the driver who took the concept of multitasking to new and exciting heights. This genius was caught speeding down I-35 in Kansas City's Northland at a blistering 107 miles per hour while playing a video game. Because what's a little thing like road safety when you're in the middle of a heated gaming session? I mean, can you imagine the conversation with his insurance company? Yes, officer, I was speeding, but it was an emergency. My character was about to die. Or maybe, I know I was going 107, but I was just trying to get to the next level before I got to work. But wait, it gets even better. This master of multitasking didn't even have a license. Because why bother with something as mundane as a driver's license when you've got a gaming console and a need for speed? It's not like the rules of the road apply to gaming prodigies like our friend here. Well, Captain Matt Bruner of the Claymore Police Department said that the incident was a reminder to drivers to avoid distractions while on the road. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it's not like we need another reminder that playing video games while driving is a bad idea. But apparently some people need a refresher course in Common Sense 101. So let this be a lesson to all you gamers out there. Put down the controller, take your eyes off the screen, and for the love of all things good and holy, keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. Unless, of course, you want to become a star of the Stupid Criminal Files. In that case, go ahead and game on, but don't say we didn't warn you. And to our gaming friend, I say, better luck next time. Maybe try playing a game that doesn't require you to drive at the same time. I hear Mario Kart's a lot of fun, but maybe leave the real-life racing to professionals. Or, just people with licenses. And finally, we've got a story that's just too good to pass up. You know the classic tale of the Grinch who stole Christmas? Well, this guy took it to a whole new level. Meet Elvis Andrade. He's a 32-year-old Brockton man who decided to spread some holiday cheer by breaking into cars and stealing credit cards. But the best part, he used one of those stolen cards to make a purchase at CVS while wearing green Grinch pajamas. I mean, who needs a disguise when you're already wearing a onesie with a grumpy face on it? It's like he was trying to make it easy for the cops to catch him. And catch him they did, thanks to the quick thinking of West Bridgewater police officer Brian Smith Jr. The guy is like the real-life version of Cindy Lou Who, except instead of stopping the Grinch with kindness, he stopped him with a well-placed traffic stop. Here's how it went down. Officer Smith ran the license plate of a car stopped at a red light. It came back as stolen. He pulled the car over, and the driver, who was later identified as Andrade, refused to give his real name. But Officer Smith was like, "No, I've got your number." And then he searched the car and found all sorts of goodies, including a screwdriver, passports, debit and credit cards, and IDs. It turns out that Andrade had not one, not two, but 5 active arrest warrants out for him. I guess you could say he was a bit of a naughty list veteran. He's expected to be arraigned soon, and I'm sure he's going to be wearing something a little more festive than his Grinch onesie. And that is going to wrap things up for us today. I do want to thank you for tuning in to our daily odd news. I am your host, Cameron Dole. I hope you had as much fun as I did bringing you the weirdest, most wonderful stories from around the world. and don't want you to miss out on any of our upcoming episodes. Want you to be sure and subscribe to our channel for new episodes every day. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a story. Comment below with your thoughts on today's story. I'd love to hear from you. And follow us on any of the socials for behind-the-scenes peeks and exclusive content. If you'd like more, you've got other content for you, including deep dives into news stories, interviews with musicians, celebrities, and people behind the headlines, live streams where we'll be discussing the latest odd news in real time. Join the conversation, share your favorite story from today's episode with a friend, use the hashtag #DailyOddNews, and we can see what you're talking about. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you all in the next episode. Until then, talk to you soon, my friend.